feel connected, and that above all makes you feel joyful. Clapping is encouraged today. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our gathering hymn, which is not number 1000. Oh no, that was a mistake on my part. We gotta sing number 201 in your great hymnal. Glory, hallelujah. Number 201. Glory, hallelujah. Everybody find it? Yes. One, two. Good morning. Yes, good morning, and a beautiful morning it is. Happy Easter. We are so glad you're here. This is my friend Jane. And we are going to offer you the call to worship. First, the poem Praise by Joy Harjo. Praise the rain, the seagull dive, the curl of plant, the raven talk. Praise the hurt, the house slack, the stand of trees, the dignity. Praise the dark, the moon cradle, the sky fall, the bear sleep. Praise crazy, praise sad, praise the path on which we're led. Praise the roads on earth and water. Praise the eater and the eaten. Praise beginnings, praise the end. Praise the song and praise the singer. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. Out of the earth rises life, rises spring. Out of the spirit rises hope, rises love. Come, let us celebrate Easter together.
Please turn to those around you to greet one another. Everyone is invited to join us for coffee and conversation held after services. We invite newcomers to stop by to the welcome table and chat with Zanaya Lee, membership and community coordinator, and church members. We invite all children to stop by the sidewalk near the lawn for an Easter egg hunt after each service. Collect your eggs and bring them back for a goodie bag. Today is the last day to submit your application to be considered as a candidate for the Board of Trustees. If you have any questions, a member of the nominating committee will be available after each service today to chat with you. The deadline to submit a sermon to share with the congregation over the summer is May 1st. Let Reverend Lissa know if you to stay connected throughout the week. Follow us on social media and visit our website to receive our weekly e-bulletin. Thank you to all members and friends who are serving this morning. Once again, welcome to Neighborhood Church. Welcome to this caring community of spiritual exploration, service, and learning.
Can we have all of the children and youth to the front for a story, please? Time for a story for all ages. Gosh, it's such an exciting weekend, isn't it? Passover started on Friday. Today's Easter. And then tomorrow's Earth Day, right? It's like a UU trifecta. Wonderful. I love seeing you all here. You all look so wonderful this morning. Dressed so nice, dressed in your Easter outfits. Hi, welcome, come sit. Yes. So today is Easter, you guys. Yeah, that means the Easter bunny and Easter egg hunts and getting all dressed up fancy and coming to church. But why do we celebrate Easter here at Neighborhood? Right here, I say you go first. Rebirth, yeah. And that's still what's taught in Christian churches all around the world today, and still what's celebrated on Easter at Christian churches around the world. But we're a UU church, we're Unitarian Universalist. And Unitarian Universalism has changed a little over time. But we tend to think more of Jesus as a mortal man, but a really great man. And a man who shared with us a message of love. What do you think that means when I say Jesus' message of love? Anybody have an idea? Right here. Yeah, spread love, right? Love for everyone. He was very kind, that's true. And Jesus shared a message that said we should love our neighbors as ourselves. And guess who's your neighbor? Everybody. Everybody's your neighbor. People you love are your neighbor, and people you might not like that much are your neighbor too. Right? People who maybe even hate you are still your neighbor, and you should still love them. That's what Jesus taught. It was a very powerful kind of love. And we can dispute whether or not Jesus actually arose out of that tomb on Easter Sunday, but we know for sure, without a doubt, that Jesus' message of love arose out of that tomb, didn't it? And it went out and it was spread by his disciples and followers all around the world, and it spread for generations and generations and just continued to grow and grow. Yeah. Even everybody. Yeah. Yeah. And Jesus said we should love people who hate us. Why do you think Jesus said we should love people who hate us? What's up with that? Very good. Boy, you nailed it. Yes, if you love somebody and love them hard enough, they might come around, right? They might come to love you in return. Jesus said you got to love the hate right out of them, right? You just got to keep on loving. He said if someone hits you, you shouldn't hit them back. He said if they strike one cheek, offer them the other one. Meet hatred with love. If they take your jacket, offer them your shirt. That's hard, right? That's hard to love that much. That's really powerful love. Well, now's not the time to tattle on your sister. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So we gotta just keep on loving, right? We gotta keep on loving until there's just no hate left in the world. But there is still hate left in the world, isn't there? So Easter serves as a powerful message to us, a powerful reminder that love arose, right? That love rises. I want everybody to do something with me here. Everybody stand. Everybody, the whole room, and raise your hands and say, "Rise up in love." Rise up in love. One more time, rise up in love.
Closing your eyes for a moment, or allowing them to drift to the faces of the room, the beautiful flowers. We create Easter together. I share these words of prayer inspired by the Reverend Julia Hamilton. Spirit of life and love, Spirit of hope, settle into our bones this Easter morning. Remind us once again that the dawn light is never a gamble. If there was ever a sure bet, it is the sunrise. As the Easter story tells us, stones can be rolled back. Death is a mystery that is certain, but not solid. Over time, space, and care, even grief, can soften its edges into gratitude. But hope is like the sunrise, eternal and bone-bred within us. We cannot rid ourselves of this hope if we tried. Like the green shoots of spring, We are creatures built by sunshine. After heartbreak, after betrayal, after loss, after devastation, in fear, stumble and doubt and deny, to entomb the light. This morning we lament the news of a horrific, unthinkably cruel violence piercing the promise of the dawn. But still the sun rises and calls us, her children, into bloom. Always, she says, always I will return. Don't despair. All is not lost. Love survives. Spirit of love, help us to remember our true nature. Help us to lift our faces, eyes closed, palms open, praising the warmth of the light. By the wonder of nature's renewal, or the miracle of prayer's alchemy, show us resurrection. Show us how the love within us rises again and again and again. Help us to understand the way of forgiveness. Help us to start anew. Friends, let us now journey into silence to mingle these words of Easter prayer with the prayers of our hearts. And as the silence collects our prayers together, we join once again. We ask for a blessing, and we say together, Amen.
Neighborhood Church is made great and good through the gifts and offerings of its members and friends. This Sunday's offering goes to support our campus programs and ministries. If you are worshiping with us for the first or second time, we are so glad you joined us and hope that you will come back again. Please think of yourself as our guest and just let the plate pass you by. Will the ushers please come forward? For all who give, we thank you in advance for your generosity. The offering will now be received.
April is National Poetry Month. And so we begin with a poem from Irish poet Carrie O'Brien. It's about Our Lady of Notre Dame. Certain mornings, she said, I would be the first to see it. Light tumbling through the stained glass, smattering everything rose, gold, and blue. The beauty was almost frightening. Yves Klein would dab his women with blue and hurl them at the canvas. Living brushes, haphazard and outrageous. Same effect, different every day. This glittering cave, big, beautiful, lit up thing. It knew and knew why I had come. Blue, gold, rose, red, falling like water. My river walk, my morning prayer. Deep into the night, strangers gathered on the banks of the river, helplessly looking on as over 400 firefighters spent the night tending to the blaze. For over 9 hours, until the morning light, through a thick haze of smoke and rubble, the world breathed a sigh of relief. Our Lady was damaged, but still standing. Her shimmering crosses, stately arches, and soaring buttresses still intact. Astoundingly, safety officials say that if the blaze had gone on even 15 minutes more, the entirety of the structure would have collapsed. So as embers died down, a suspenseful search for Our Lady's vast collection of relics and treasures began, and the joy came pouring in as precious treasures were discovered one by one. The crown of thorns, believed to have been worn by Jesus at the time of his crucifixion. The trio of rose windows, the great organ, the copper rooster from the church spire, found in the ashes. But one of the most prized possessions recovered just happened not to be an artifact at all, but 3 beehives stationed on the sacristy roof, home since 2013 to over 180,000 bees. Have you heard this story? So these bees began to be kept by Nicolas Géant as an effort to counteract the massive colony die-off that France had been seeing. Nearly 30% of bee colonies were dying from year to year. And so Our Lady wanted to be a home for bees to continue to thrive. Days went by, and then finally, an ounce of hope, wrote the beekeeper on social media. Drone photos show that those 3 beehives are still in place and seem to be intact. Then on Friday, thousands of bees were found huddling on the neck of a gargoyle. Huddling together, waiting to return back to their hives. Remarkably, in bee biology, bees don't have any lungs, and so the smoke had made them drunk, had put them to sleep. And when in peril, those drunken bees didn't abandon their roost, but stuck together, protected their queen, and sheltered until they could return home to their hives. A miracle! Exclaimed the beekeeper. And a miracle it is. Awakening from that high perch, the bees were then free to return to their hives and get back to perhaps their most important job, pollinating the Parisian spring. Had we lost those bees in the fire, we would not have simply had their tiny bodies to lament, but the loss of the cherry blossoms, the lilies of the valley, and the wood violets, the tulips, and the lilacs. I wonder if those bees had any idea how much the world needed them to be alive. How much we longed for good news coming from such devastation. The paradox is that in the midst of tragedy, life persists, joy persists. But for many of us, this Easter business is countercultural at best, maybe a stretch for our own lives. After all, living in this moment of our nation's history can sometimes feel like we're trapped in a Good Friday world, full of political corruption and intrigue, senseless violence and fear, and a precarious state of our planet. Others of us are living through our own personal Good Fridays. We're struggling with devastating transitions and losses, betrayals and hardships. Some days we're not so sure we can even make it through. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about that song we just heard, Richard Smallwood's Total Praise, our offertory anthem. And I want to share with you the moment which he produced this song in his life, this Good Friday moment. He said, in October 1995, my mother was ill, my godbrother was terminally ill, and I was a caregiver, going from the hospital to my house, taking care of everything. Caregiving, he said, is a very difficult thing to do. It's time-consuming, and if you don't watch out, you'll end up in the hospital too. I began to feel like I wasn't doing enough for my loved ones. I felt hopeless and inadequate. And so I sat down at the piano in my living room and started playing. And Total Praise started to come out. He said, what I call mountaintop praise, when everything is going well and you have so much to praise. Mountaintop praise is easy, but the opposite is what I call valley praise. When you are in a dark situation, you can't see the light, and yet we praise anyhow, because we understand that this too shall pass. And even though it's a dark situation, he said, God is with us through it. I think this distinction for us is helpful today, between the mountaintop praise and the valley praise. Easter calls on that cannot be recovered, but yes, in the midst of it all, look at how life has triumphed. Look at how joy has come through. And celebrate, celebrate, celebrate that. Sometimes the poets and the musicians do Easter the most justice. I want to share with you this poem from Lucille Clifton, who says, won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of a life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see except myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight to the other. Come celebrate with me, she says. Every day, something has tried to kill me and failed. Something has tried to kill each one of us. Something deeply tragic has happened to each one of us that we didn't think we could recover from. Maybe it was a debilitating illness, our own or a loved one's. an accident, a paralyzing loss, a debilitating betrayal. And yet each one of us too knows that there is a miracle of joy within that tragedy where we never imagined we could survive. Like the earth awakening in spring, we have this unbelievable capacity for renewal, and we are creatures who understand resurrection intuitively because we have lived it. We have lived it. And today on Easter, we muster every bone of gratitude in our body to give life, and if we choose, give God our praise. And so I'm going to close with the words of another poet, Polish poet Adam Zagajewski. Polish poets know this deep in their bones. He says, try to praise the mutilated world. Remember June's long days, and wild strawberries, and drops of rosé wine. You should praise the mutilated world. Remember the moments where we were together in a room, and the curtain fluttered. Return in thought to a concert where music flared. Praise the mutilated world, and the gray feather, the thrush lost, and the gentle.
Our closing hymn is number 368 in your great hymnal. Will you please rise and line in the spirit? Before we start it off, we want to make sure we all know what we're doing. I think we've done this before, but let's just review. So we have the bass part, or raise your hand if you are a low voice person. Low voices in the room. You know there's some more low voices. The low voice part goes like this. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the... Do it again. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Now be careful, don't get tripped up upon the pole. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Right? Now, how many of you have high voices? High voice people. And I know you guys are high. Some of you feel like must be mid-voice people because not everybody's raised there. You don't, that's okay. You don't have to choose. That's all right. High voice people, your part goes like this. You have to wait a little bit for the low voice people to get going. So they go, sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the faith within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the... Sing it again, high voice people. Sing it again. And sing to the power of the faith within. Voice, be not afraid. Sing. You ready? It's time to go. Here we go. Everybody in. Now, sing to the power of
end. Praise the song and praise the singer. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. Praise the rain, it brings more rain. For this is the day we are given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Happy Easter!